In a universe crowded with magical bloodlines and destined heroes, pure survival usually requires a supernatural spark. But when those spells shatter and the prophecies fail, you are left with the cold, unforgiving weight of iron. Before he was a mercenary, Korrath Beldun was a child of the borderlands. At 6 years old, his days were spent pumping the heavy bellows of a mining forge, his hands calloused by a stonehouse hearth. He didn't have wooden swords to play with. He spent his childhood gripping broken hammer handles, a type of play that was actually a decade-long conditioning for grueling physical labor. His family lived in poverty, yet they remained a unified, warm presence that shielded him from the predatory world beyond the mining town. The heavy lifting held the priority. The sword was meant to be weightless. His father taught him strength's job is to carry, not swing, building a protective roof for the community to share burdens, never inflict them. It was a philosophy that required a peaceful world to survive, but just across the border, the environment was shifting, becoming increasingly volatile and indifferent to the ideals of a mining village. By training a boy to carry the weight of a peaceful life, his father unintentionally left him defenseless. The moment that peace was removed, Korrath was standing in the open with no way to protect what he loved. That transition happened at 16. A bandit army swept through the town at night, replacing the warm forge glow with the harsh orange of burning homes. By morning, his family was gone. The support system he relied on for survival was instantly severed, leaving him alone in the wreckage. He was forced into a mercenary column shortly after. There was no noble call to arms, just a rhythmic, muddy march through the rain because the company had food and he had nowhere else to go. This new life was a different kind of forge. Survival became a matter of sheer physical endurance and a stubborn refusal to stop marching. He spent those years relying entirely on his own muscle. He didn't have access to enchantments or healing spells. He only had the raw physical mass he had built as a boy. The cost of that survival is etched directly into his face. The deep, jagged notch on his right cheek is a permanent marker of when he learned how thin the margin for error really is. But in war, the piece is smashed, and the sword holds all the gravity. His father's lesson inverted. To carry his life forward, Korrath had to constantly swing a weapon. This violent struggle became his new baseline. The mercenary life stripped away his connection to the community. He emerged from those years trusting nothing but his own capacity to endure. Today, Korrath is a man without a banner. He moves as an independent warrior, armored in bronze-plated leather and standing on his own terms. His weapon is a massive war axe, a piece of scavenged steel that has been pulled from one cold hand to another across a dozen different battlefields. While the haft is etched with runic markings, they mean nothing to him. He doesn't look for magical assistance. He values the axe because the metal is heavy and the edge is sharp. He has fought on every side of the border wars, witnessing the same atrocities committed by men in different colored uniforms. The grim aftermath of battle shows the only rule Korrath still respects. The winner writes the history, and the loser stays in the dirt. He watched it happen in every war. The winners overwrite the world, while the losers are deleted. Having seen that cycle repeat, he refuses to fight for kings or causes. He works exclusively on his own account. His father once said that strength's real job is to carry, not to swing. Korrath finally combined those two ideas. He uses the swing of his axe for the singular purpose of carrying the weight of his own survival. He is the result of what happens when a human being simply decides not to die. A man built one scar at a time. Korrath Beldun.